I've been teaching now for 30 years. I'm Jesper Parnevik's golf coach since 2010. That was a revelation, going on tour with him. I'm a 30 handicap compared to those guys right now. That's tour stuff, which you're headed to. Unbelievably difficult, but it could do if your bean is pretty much on point. That's it. And I still golf. Still teach. I can fuck up your swing and your swing and your swing.
And we're back. Welcome to the Part 3 podcast. I'm one of your three hosts, Stephen Malbon. We got my man, J.R. Smith, Ben Baller, and one of the biggest legends to ever touch the game, the world famous Ron Del Barrio.
Hello, gents.
Hey!
Hello, y'all.
RDB in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, it's going to be fun today, isn't it?
I've heard so many stories.
Half of them are true.
Okay,
We'll see.
I can't wait.
So Ron has been my instructor for the last 3-4 years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've had a few breakthroughs. Every time I break through, then we try to get to the next level of the next breakthrough. Luckily, Ron and Ben have been on their own ride.
Yep.
And JR's heard a lot about you on the show, obviously. I think you're mentioned almost every show. And there's endless fans have been requesting to have you on. So thank you.
Happy to be here. Happy to just share the truth today. About everything. Golfers, people, everybody that plays golf.
So why don't you start? Maybe you could just fill us in a little, those that don't know, and the viewers, just on your history of golf, where it started, and take us on a little ride to where we are today.
Sure. When I was growing up, if you said golf in high school, you got your ass kicked. So I didn't touch a golf club till I was about 18 years old. I joined the fire department. I was a paramedic. Couldn't even grow a mustache. But all of them golfed. So I wanted to be one of the men. So I started golfing. It was like pretty cool. Right at Whitsett, too, at Weddington. And after about 3 or 4 years of seeing, smelling, and touching what I did, which they shouldn't let an 18-year-old be a paramedic, I'm like, fuck it. So I started golfing. And I started doing a little hustle, like teaching. I was horrible as a golfer in the beginning. And after about 2-3 years, started getting a little bit better. And then one day, Smokey Robinson comes to Weddington. I was probably about a 7 handicap at that time. I'm like, oh, that's Smokey. So I used to have these little red caps you put in a cap gun. So I got the stall right behind him. Licked the cap, put it on, bang! He had to look at my shit, my swing. After 2 or 3 swings, I'm like, he's interested. Oh, good swing and all that stuff. Next day, I get a phone call at the front desk. It's Smokey. I'm like, oh, yes. Student lessons. I love it. He says, hey, listen, can you meet me at my lawyer's office in about an hour? I'm like, fuck, I killed his eardrums. I'm going to get sued. Instantly, 3-year contract to go play professionally. He moved me to Palm Desert. And by the way, it was a 7. Who the fuck sponsors a 7 handicap? So he gave me the full-blown sponsorship thing. Full-blown. And after about a year, didn't make one cut. That sucked. It was horrible. The next year, I started winning doing cuts. And I realized then that there's no way I'm good enough to make the PGA Tour. I never touched a golf club. No junior golf. It's that difficult out there. So I called him up. I'm like, I think we should call it. He goes, no, let's go one more year. Awesome guy. Then after that, I started teaching. I just loved to teach. I could teach 24 hours a day. I would do it.
You teach a lot now.
I just love it. And I love the fact that nobody practices the right way. You all fucking suck for a reason. Because you do. Nobody practices right the right way. How often do you practice?
Too much.
Oh, well, that's good. But you're, what, 1 scratch?
No, I'm a 3.8 right now.
That's damn good. I know how much you practice. Forget it. But it's fun. So I just love teaching.
Hold on. Let them know how much I practice, dude.
A lot. And ask him if he hits a I've seen him hit a driver at Weddington, but he says, hey, look how far it went. I don't give a shit. Every time he says, look how far, what do I say? I don't care. The distance thing has to go. It's all about the score for everybody. So I've been teaching now for 30 years. I'm Jesper Parnevik's golf coach since 2010. That was a revelation, going on tour with him. I'm a 30 handicap compared to those guys right now. That's tour stuff, which you're headed to. Unbelievably difficult, but it could do if your bean is pretty much on point. That's it. And I still golf. still teach. I can fuck up your swing and your swing and your swing.
So let me ask you, man. You're the king of quotes. Every golf quote that I know, because I haven't been around a ton of golfers, but even hearing there's no pictures on scorecards.
Right.
When we're at Braemar playing and you're paired up with me,
Mm-hmm.
I just crack up at all this shit. Why do you think you have such an unorthodox way of teaching?
My method, you mean?
Yes.
Well, if people don't know, I actually start my downswing by turning my head. Everything we do is about balance. Like when folks are describing over the top, everybody looks the same. It's an involuntary reaction. Like when you trip, you don't think of putting your arms out, right? Involuntary. So when folks start using their hands and arms, it stops the body involuntarily. So when I turn my head first, balance that mechanism, lets my legs go first, my chest second. And that's what's hitting at the ball. Letting the head, there's no other hitting sport. It's throwing sport. You leave your head still, right? Nothing. So that's still not accepted. I don't give a fuck. Because all my students do pretty well with it. You do great with it. We haven't started, but we'll do it. But it's all about balance. Everyone's got way too much information. YouTube University, taking lessons, all like watching videos. They're all getting screwed. Find a pro and work with a pro. That's it. It took him 10 times for me to accept him, right? He said, please take Ben. Looked him up. I'm like, fuck this. No way. There's no way he's going to commit to it. Thankfully, you're on point.
So how'd you get into teaching all these celebrities? That's what.
Well, it started with a guy named David Leisure back in the day, Joe Azuzu, a commercial campaign. Then from him, we went to Vince Neil, Tommy Lee. That was a fucking wreck. I don't even remember the 1990s, I don't think. Then Stallone, Schwarzenegger, Will Smith, Denzel. It just because I don't kiss and tell, you know what I mean? I've got some stories, but you're not going to hear them today. That's for damn sure. And that's it. I'm off the cuff, kind of weird, and they like that.
What's funny is like the Larry David thing. Like, didn't even know he could play. Like,
he's damn good, by the way. I've seen him shoot 78 a Riviera. You know why we teach? I teach him. He turned his head first before I even taught him. I swear to God.
Yeah.
Before I even knew him. Bang. Loved it.
So, JR, he hits me up one day and he goes, I got this guy, man, coming in for a lesson, bro. Like, whatever. And I was like, okay. He's like, yeah, NBA, I don't know, something. And I was like, who? He goes, I don't fucking know what the name, whatever. Sends me a video. I'm like, it's at Weddington. I'm like, bro, it's fucking Doc Rivers, bro. Like, are you joking me right now? He goes, yeah, I don't know who he is. He's all right. Should I keep coaching him? I'm like, this guy's a Hall of Famer, bro. This guy's a player and a coach. He's a legend. And
what
it's
do
just
I know?
funny.
I don't follow the basketball thing. But, I mean, no disrespect. He comes in my stall, I'm going to work him. And he's good. Decent.
I mean, what did you tell me the first day? Like, what's your requirements when you take a client on?
Well, you had to hit a wedge for like a month and a half, right? Because there's no way you can improve unless you hit a wedge. Then how are you going to go to a 6-iron? So you have to get those fundamentals first. And the one thing that kills everybody, the fucking distance thing. You too. I bombed a 390 and, who gives a shit? It's after 18 holes, what's the score? So if you can't be repetitive with yourself, no chance to play the game. Just with a wedge.
But I mean, like, what'd you ask me? I said, hey, are you committed? Well, you asked me what I was going to do when I wasn't getting a lesson.
I said, no, if you don't practice, I don't want anything to do with you.
Okay.
Period. I still do that. If you don't put the work in, you don't deserve to be even at my level. No way.
How important is like practicing and practicing with a purpose?
Oh, that's a good one because it's not, practice does not make perfect. It's perfect practice. So people go to the range, they start hitting balls, no target. They're just kind of whacking away. If you have a goal in mind, just like when I work with somebody like you, we'll work on one thing so we can own that. If folks are hitting balls at the range, they see a slice or they top it, oh, it's fucked up. Don't let that be the barometer to what you're learning. You're trying to learn your body, right? So people I think they don't practice correctly because you're trying to learn how to work your body and your body. And everyone's different. It's as unique as a fingerprint. Like I can't swing like you, and you. So I hate this part of it. Look at Rory. I'm going to try and do that shit. Horrible. Like you got to swing like you. You got to build your swing, your swing. There's no blanket lesson. It doesn't exist.
He sent the other day, so I got out of my swing went from really, really perfect to like fucked in 1 second, and so then I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm over in the range hitting balls and I can't hit the ball. So I have the kid film and I hit like 6 skanky, horrible shots in a row. And then I send all 6 to him and I go, what the fuck? And then he goes, hold on, FaceTime me in 10 minutes, So I go over there and FaceTime him in 10 minutes. And then he says, pick your right toe up, do this, do that. and he said, go the same tempo, the same speed on your takeaway as you do on your swing through, right? Which then it calms your body down, or calms your arms down so that your body will take over. So a lot of the things he's doing is just tricking you into getting back to where you are with the feel, etc. So then I got to swing right 4 or 5 times, and then I sent him 5 videos of I couldn't miss it after 5. Maybe we were on Zoom or FaceTime for like 2 minutes max. I hit 6, 8 shots, and I said, all right, I'll send you more videos later. So then I hit him to send him the best swings I've ever swung in my life. And then he sent me a video earlier of what what I was doing wrong with the first ones, where he talks over the video and it showed me that I had basically, what I was trying to do is I remember the last lesson, he wanted my hands a little closer a little more closer to my body. So in order to do that, in my brain, I was trying to do this, but I was actually going onto my heels to do it. Mm-hmm. So then I'm trying to do the same swing, but I'm on my heels. And then he shows me videos where when Tiger misses, Tiger like miss and like drop the club, he's showing me that my feet, I'm on tiptoes of both feet at striking the ball.
Which is involuntary.
Which is like your body takes over and just fucking panics or something. And so it does that. So then he sent me videos of Rory topping it with like a 4-iron the other day. He topped it like 10 foot and dropped the club. And he literally did it because it was the same thing. His body involuntarily spazzed out and threw him on his tiptoes because he started on his heels, and then it freaks and throws you forward, which ends in these disastrous shots, But that's a good thing with working with Ron. It's like, if I hit one bad, I could care less. And because I know I just did something wrong.
But what he does wrong, right, all of us, it's involuntary. The balance, it's called the vestibular system, the balance mechanism. When you fall down, you reach up. When you trip, you don't think you put your arms out. It's involuntary. So when that mechanism gets fired off because you change your grip pressure, nobody can prevent it. So your body's going to say, fuck it, I can't move, and it's going to protect the body. Therefore, everyone looks the same coming over the top. So what the tricks that I do is I use that mechanism, like take your right heel up. So your brain's already like, oh shit, the mechanism's already switched on. So there's no way you can use your hands and arms involuntarily because the brain won't let that happen. So it's a trick. The toe thing, the humming drill that I love is that it's crazy.
Humming's good.
Before you take a club back, take a wedge, whatever. Start humming audibly, like do your best to keep the same tonality. Once your grip and arm pressure changes, you won't be able to hum. Your diaphragm's going to stop that. That's the balance mechanism. It's ridiculously easy if people understand, like grip and arm pressure with golf. That kills everybody. Basketball, I don't know how you guys look so fluid, because I tried them shoving the shit. But how languid and relaxed your hands are when you're just doing the free throw? Pretty soft?
No, not for me, no. For me personally, I like to have strong hands, especially when I grip the ball, because a lot of people shoot with their palm. And good shooters know you don't shoot with your palm, you shoot with your fingers.
Can you show me what the movement looks like with the fingers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. See that?
Yeah.
If everybody had that in a golf swing, they'd be great. Period. That fulcrum is just, But golfers just start to there's no way you're going to swing the club. So it's like, I'll have all these guys take their thumb and index off the club. The brain's like, shit, no leverage. Your body wants to do that anyway.
So he's saying, like, do your whole swing like that the whole time.
Like my normal grip is a 2-finger overlap. I have these off, so it's the only finger I have. And this way, there's no leverage. My brain's like, shit, there's no leverage in my arm. My body involuntarily, I use that mechanism, wants to hit it. And that's why it's repetitive. The control of the club face, nobody thinks about. I mean, what do you think about controlling your club face to your target with every club? Do you have any thought to that? Like for accuracy?
I do. It's kind of weird for me because I have this thought of swinging. So I practice a lot. So at one point when I got really good, it would take me probably an hour to hit 10, 12 balls because I would sit there and write down everything I felt in my swing. And then after I started realizing what I was doing, I realized how over the top I was, and I started aiming at a closer spot to me on the ball so I can get that inside out feel. And then after
the cat.
Right. Essentially. And then I started feeling it more in my hands more than anything in my body or my swing. Cause it's like, I know it's not my swing. I know when the club is shut or when it's open, it's literally my hands at impact and not doing either turning over or pushing out.
As long as you have a concept, doesn't matter what the concept is. Golf's about accuracy. I don't buy it. It's fucking everything. So to square the club face up with every club in the bag, you have to have an idea or a concept. You have to. My method's different. My right tit or shoulder's the club face. can't show it here, but the big muscles hitting it, hands and arms do zero on the downswing. Like they have no control of the club face. It's just the bigger muscles won't twitch. This always twitches. So folks out there that go to YouTube University trying to pick apart movements, the things that you cannot fix most likely is because you can't control the balance thing. End of story. I think that's just universal for every hitting and throwing sport. There's not one, can't throw a ball leaving your head still. Surfers, when they go for a cutback, they have to turn the head to change the body. All of that's all controlled by the balance mechanism.
Hockey, lacrosse,
Everything.
all of it.
And the bad thing about golf is that we tend to make the ball the finale, but that's only halfway in the middle of the downswing. All these other throwing and hitting sports, they're orientated toward the target already with their head. So the body freely wants to go there. That's how my method came about, just getting the body going through it because of the balance mechanism, nothing else. And the ball's not fucking moving. What do you got to stare at? Like, Steve hit me, I'm sitting here, people just panic and just go nuts. Ben?
I've actually never asked you this ever. Personally, we talk every day, right? Mm-hmm. What's something you just can't teach one of your students when it comes to the game of golf?
How to put the work in. That is it. I can teach anybody anything golf, but if you're not willing to put the right work in, can't help you.
What about like the mental aspect of that?
Okay, so I have like a questionnaire when people want to take lessons. There's 3 questions on there. Knowing that the worst change of golf is a grip change, because it is, would you be willing to change it? Second question is, would you be willing to practice for a month with a pitching wedge only? Third one is, if you play twice a week, once a week, 3 times a month, would you be willing not to play? If the answer is no, I'll never take them on. Not because of me, but I know they're not serious about them. Period. There's no shortcuts. If you don't hit balls, I don't want to fuck with you. If you don't, anybody, because how are you going to get better? Nobody can get better at this game. It's such a tough game. Physically, it's not that tough. Mentally, crazy tough. So if you can't control your own body, why bother? But nobody wants to put that work in. Well, I want to get good. They want to pound the driver. Stupid as hell. You asked me a question not too long ago. No, I think I asked you. If you would take 220 off the tee, but you could shoot par, would you take it? You said, but you want to hit 350, right? Fuck that. I'd rather just add it up and beat your ass.
But you remember I told you the first time me and him actually got to play together?
All day long.
You and Jake. Yeah.
Remember, he was playing the tips. I played the blues.
Mm-hmm.
And, he hit the ball like fucking 320 yards. And I hit it, way shorter.
Mm-hmm. We
ended up both parring the first hole.
Message.
And you were like, there's lots of ways to get there, right?
Right.
And that fucked me up because he hit it so goddamn far.
He's a little bit bigger than you, taller than you. Really?
No, I
please. But that's the thing. Golf is a great equalizer. Who gives a shit how far? Whatever. It's score at the 18th hole. That's it. Add them up. That's all I care about.
I played 2-3 days ago with a group of guys that are 60, 70 years old, and I was out driving them by 40, 50 yards every single hole. Some of the par 3s they were getting there into and still making par, and they waxed me.
All of them beat you.
Hold on, 65-year-olds?
Yes.
And waxed
When I tell you, bro, they one putt everything. Their chipping is phenomenal. They don't care where they hit it at. They don't care if they're 190 just off the rough, or they don't care because they know that hybrid, they're going to bump up and run, and they can rely on that short game, and they're going to one putt every single time.
After 18, they're just collecting your money.
Just collecting money.
It doesn't
$550. I don't take Venmo cash, sir.
$550.
Seriously.
Look, you've seen it firsthand. Ever since I started with you, right? I've had the most insane amount of hate. You've actually inherited some of my hate, right? Like, how do you explain my journey thus far? Like what? Less than a year playing, golf, right? But been over a year swinging club. How would you explain to people that are listening?
The hell with that. What is his real index? What's his number?
Okay, so here's how I've done this my whole life. I started off allowing my alligator mouth to overload my hummingbird ass, right? So you'll never see on any of my social media what I shoot ever. I'll never tell anybody, period. If anyone wants to know about your handicap, put the peg in the ground and play. Let your fucking club do the talking. So I don't vouch for nobody.
I don't want you to vouch.
No, I'm not saying,
right.
But
tell them.
Tell them what? That you can hit the piss out of a ball? Fucking you can.
No. I'm talking about tell them what's my actual index in your eyes.
I have no answer. Here's the index. If anybody wants to know, go play with you. You're probably a 7. If you say you're a 7, go play a 7. If you say you're a 2, go play a 2. No, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Let your clubs do the talking, which is fantastic. And I'm a firm believer. If you're a 7, you're a 2, you're a 5. I need to give you 7, 2, 5. Let's play. I'm the least. I used to have the fucking, oh man, I could kick ass. I shot 6, and all I know is it just made me fucking nuts. Whether I could do it or not, it didn't matter. So I just let my club do the talking. Yes, I've seen you hit it way over the fence at Whitton, 300 yards.
Fuck the fence.
Oh, now distance doesn't matter. Fuck you.
I'm talking about a full round, that we played, and
we played Angeles last time. You shot 84. Oh, and at that 84, so he's on the 12th hole, par 3, hits it in the bunker, greenside bunker, gets it out, makes par. I write down 5. And he goes, what do you mean 5? He grounded his club twice. Penalty. I didn't know that. Tough shit. That's golf. So you know what I mean? You got to learn the game the right way. He was
That's
so
some punk
pissed
shit
off.
though too.
Bullshit. That's real golf. Bullshit.
That's some punk ass shit for 2 dudes playing. We're not playing in a fucking tournament.
So what? You play with me. You better. I'm fine gambling. You better take those 2 strokes. Period. Game
That's
of
the
integrity.
game. That's
How you feel about
integrity.
that, GR?
That's a game of integrity. I respect it.
Scratch golfer knows.
I would
gotta
never
learn.
I would never touch the sand in a bunker while I'm in any situation.
I don't
because
now.
I've
But he
just
didn't know the
learned-
rule.
But
I don't
he-
now.
He learned it the hard way. But I learned it when I was little. So like, I just don't think about letting my club. Even they said now you can the
You can
rule
ground it in
change or
fairway
something
bunkers or
weird.
whatever. No,
It's like I don't
still,
touch it at
no.
all. I let the club hover and I hit it out. I don't
100%.
even think about that,
See,
touching it.
You got to play like playing in college and playing like college tournaments when everything is by the rule. Ain't no give me that. No, you putting everything out. Like everything matters. It's way
No, for
different
sure.
than just you and your boy going to play Angel.
And the
No,
rules
when
are
I
very
played-
difficult to learn. The rules
When
are
I
really
played
tough.
when I played the last pro-am, I told him when I got in the bunker and the field marshal jumped into the bunker with me, first thought in my head was, all right, I'm gonna widen my stance. And I said, I don't give a fuck because I had no practice. I can't ground the club. I said, look, I don't care if this ball goes in the Pacific Ocean. This motherfucker's getting out. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck what happens. And it got out, but I was thinking like, damn, bro, like they followed me everywhere they fucking went. It was crazy shit, right? It was funny.
Well, that's the PGA Tour. They got marshals
I know.
for everybody. And so I had a couple guys that were actually there. I said, film his swing and shit like that. I thought he was going to throw up and shit the bed. Man, there's some great swings he put up there. Pretty damn good. Well, he's got the, dun, 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 dun. I mean, that's a hell of a trophy right there. I don't have one. Fucker.
Had a lot of help though.
So I'll take 5% credit of his improvement and 5% credit of his. They put the work.
But I give you at least 85,
I won't take
90%
any
of
of it.
my credit.
I just give you some information. You do the work. And by the way, when people take lessons from pros, nobody takes notes. There's a plan. There's thousands of great instructors out there, thousands. But people just think I'm paying for a lesson. I should get better. If you guys want to get better, Jesus Christ, you got to put the work in. Like you take lessons, right?
Yeah.
How hard do you work? 10 balls in an hour? It takes me 2.5 hours to hit a medium bucket. Guys goes through large buckets in 20 minutes. Cha-ching on my pocket. I love it. One more thing. If you guys know the last name is Say, the first name is They, let me have his fucking number because they say I make so much money. Well, they say it's fantastic how it just makes me rack some money because people will never learn it because YouTube University or their buddy says, I'm doing this. That's for your buddy. But being that low of a handicap and where you're at, you have to have one voice, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, you don't mess around with anybody else, do you? And if you do, I'm done with your ass. I'm kidding.
What we're working on now, what Ron and I are working on now or what I'm working on, but in general, it's like, I can shoot 5 over. If I play well, I can easily shoot 5 over. But I'm trying to think about how I can shoot on a bad round, even on a great round, 5 under.
Right.
That's the difference. And it's not my swing. It's not my swing. It's nothing technical at this point. Like I can hit every shot there is
Right.
the same that someone who shoots 5 under can.
Mm-hmm.
That's not it. So the next part is really trying to focus in on that and trying to actually get better where I can shoot a couple under par, no big deal, rather than feel like I hit it perfect all day and shoot 77.
Right.
Damn.
Right. Nobody hits
I didn't only miss 2 shots and shot 77, and so that is the next level. But I've been working with him on just the mindset of it, and he's telling me to look at the flag 3 times before you hit, and then I don't really have to think differently. Like if I'm gonna cut it or I'm gonna draw the ball, or if I'm gonna hit a hook, my swing doesn't really change at all. I just have to let my mind know that's what I'm planning on doing. And I have to look at the bunker out to the right. That's where I'm going to hit it. And it's going to turn and come back and look at the flag 3 times. and then just get out of my own way and just do it.
JR, do you practice swing before every single shot?
Yeah.
Just
Probably
asking.
two or three.
Yeah, and it was just new because he never used to take practice swings. I suggested that. On tour, they take practice swings for a reason. They're actually rehearsing the actual shot. They're visualizing stuff. Once he started taking practice swings, nutting it, much more consistency, because you're out of your own way as far as like thinking of the mechanics, which is tough. Most golfers, when they play golf, they play the swing because they can't play the game yet. You know what I mean? And so it's such a cerebral sport. There's no opponent, there's no teammate. It's just you and your ability, and that's the toughest part of it. But if you can't control your own body, what are your expectations? And of course, the modern narrative of teaching, which just kills me. In your sport, would anybody say, announcer or anybody else, oh, look at MJ when he puts his left ankle down, he rotates his right butt cheek, right? They would never say that. But golfers are like, even the commentators, look at Rory's elbow, and you guys at home, make sure to, this is the worst fucking game for that stuff. Nobody segments body parts in other sports.
Right.
But this game, I don't know, maybe I'm just a freak, but it just...
He doesn't like when the people start to swing where their right arm is above their left arm.
Yeah.
Right out of the jump.
It's not that I don't like it. It's different than mine. But every one of the guys that take it back kind of wide and shut, 1,000%, every one of them are square coming down, their elbows loaded. So why waste that? But that's not that it's wrong.
He's just saying, just go ahead and bend your elbow earlier versus going up like this and then getting it to the top and having to drop and shallow it out.
Right.
Like, just go the same path back as you're going to come through.
Nobody is shut coming down again. All the guys that are shut, I call it shut. It might not be shut. When my toe is square, everyone says fanned open. Well, for my method, it's not. So there's no right and wrong. It's just I try and make the least amount of moving parts.
What about all the gadgets you did in the past?
Well, I invented
a
training aid. It was on TV for a couple of years in '95. It was called the Turbo Swing. I didn't make the name up, buggers. It was a strap that went to the wrist and the club, and it had 5 positions. So you could do your normal setup position, number 2, 3, and 4, and 5. So let's say you were on number 5. You had to start your swing at 90 degrees, and you could not unload your hands and arms from that position, whatever the position was. It wasn't, I didn't invent it for the hands and arms. I invented it to train the body. So basically stop the hands and arms from working. In the last 4 years, I've gotten so many DMs like people want it now. It wasn't relevant back then, I guess. But the idea of not hitting the ball with your hands and arms and using your big muscles is where I think the swing's at, because these muscles will twitch all day long. The big ones can't. You know what I mean? So just a way of not letting the hands and arms be dominant in the swing,
And then the method he's been teaching forever, which people on tour or the commentators or whatever, with all of the coaches that are on tour, they'll say that shit's crazy and that's not it. And this is it. The more GG swing tips, the more the different, those type of swings and everything that's been going on. But a lot of people recently, it's almost where like everything he's been teaching is now starting to come to full light where people are swinging like that. And you see it all day on like half wedges with DJ, half wedges with Tiger. Like all of those dudes go back and then just turn their head and their arms follow and those little nippers.
Nelly Court is doing it now.
And don't forget David Duval, who was number 1 in '99. When Tiger was at Annika Sorenstam. But even back then, the commentators were like, no, you can't be doing that.
Like when she would hit a ball, they would be like, wow, she's not even looking at the ball.
Right, they would freak out. But again, my contention is the fucking thing's not moving.
Right.
So why do you have to stare at it? Because you have time to hit a golf ball. Unfortunately, most folks just want to go at it. When you fall in love with time, like a baseball pitcher takes his time to wind up, right? Most golfers take it back, and of course, the body's already screwed there. There's a couple things you have to know. I wouldn't suggest anybody right now turning their head just to hit a golf ball because you have to know the method, right? For me, if the sternum, which is the bottom of the swing for my method, if that sternum's ahead of the ball's getting in the way of that bottom. Head controls the bottom, done. You still can't do it yet. You just got more components you have to have. But there's no right and wrong in swinging a golf club. I'll tell you this much, but having the head freedom, you'll have physical longevity to the game because everybody knows the back gets messed up, the separation, stuff like that. You have zero pain with any body part by having that because the whole body's working.
When I first started going to run, one of my main issues was my right side was getting banged out from going up and then like pinching, dropping and pinching and falling back. So it was hurting my
involuntarily though. Pull it involuntarily.
Pull my handle and then fucking my hips gone and it was becoming very painful. So I was worried about longevity of being able to play golf. So that was it. So like when I took his concept of the swinging and went through that change of doing it. It was there's zero body issues anymore. I hit balls for 4 hours the other day, and like the only thing that hurt was my hands.
It was crazy
like
you say
blisters.
that. I had to go see a physical therapist. Well, of course, nothing natural about a golf swing. He said that. Dude, my back hurt forever. Plus, I'm old. You know, my back hurt like shit. And then I don't have that type of
If
pain
you go
anymore.
with that neck turn early and just let your body follow it, and it makes sense. Like if I grab someone's neck and I snatch their neck, your body's going to follow really, really quickly because your brain knows that your neck's going to break if you don't, right? Like if I just let you rip my neck and the body stays still, it's going to be an issue. So when you turn your neck, your body's like, what is he doing? And it just speeds up and goes. And that way you're not like pinching.
It's involuntary, basically. You know,
You can't help it.
Yeah, and you know, I maybe teach 10% of my clientele the head release, only because most of them won't put the work in, so it would screw them up more so than it would help them. But to understand the method is really, really simple. If you can throw a ball, you can just pound the shit out of a golf ball. The concept of what body parts. You know, throw a ball, you have to be languid and all that stuff, but golfers are just so rigid and tight.
You know, I've never asked you this before, and I'm glad you're here now. But like, what do you teach Jesper? Like he's a tour. Like, what does he need help on?
So when we started, matter of fact, we were at the Byron Nelson, I think, in 2014. And there were some of my students that just happened to be there, and they're listening to what we're working on. After the first round, they're like, "How come you don't tell us any of that shit?" Because a golf swing is as unique as a fingerprint. Doesn't matter what I'm doing with Jesper. Doesn't matter what I'm doing with you. With Jesper, he has a swing. He's a warrior. And touring pros don't know shit about teaching. I'll tell you that right now. They don't study teaching. They know their swing. I worked with what he has. Period. I mean, because he's playing professionally. If I had him from scratch, he'd be turning his head. Period.
But he was already a +7 when you started working with him. You're just trying to.
Right. I did change quite a bit because he had the same issue of going backwards, pulling his hands and arms down. Now he's perfectly straight up and down. His head's not rotating, but I have him moving his head forward. Same balance mechanism. As long as the head has movement, the body can have movement, right?
Okay, so then on the whole other end of the coin, talk about like Anthony Kim, because he was 10. How old? 9?
He was 8 when I started hanging out with him. And this punk, at 10 years old, we have a nice putting green in front of our spot. And at 10 years old, you could get $100 a hole all day on that game. Nobody would bet him. A little fat, little punky kid, just making every putt. At about 10 or 11 years old, he's hitting at 260. Like, he's pounding it. This kid is like so gifted, but he had something that, because you're weird the same way with putting, he has no fear. Like when I played professionally, Heimlich, I need a gurney, shit like that. This kid, obviously his career, would take anybody on for golf because he knew his swing. And I mean, that's why he just walked out there. I think he did something with Tiger on some demonstration, and Tiger's explaining something. What do you do, Anthony? He goes, I don't know. I just hit the ball. Like, amazing. But that's why he was that good. Anybody that's on tour, trust me, they're amazing. I mean, it's not physical because there's some shitty swings out there. And I've been out there for 13 years. Some of the shittiest swings, like nobody imitates Furyk's swing, right? Fucker's the only one shot 58 in the tournament.
Yeah.
I would, if I could do that, I'd hold the club in my taint. I don't give a shit. I wouldn't. If I could shoot 50, I don't care where I have to hold it. I don't need to imitate Rory or anything else like that. But it's that tough of a game.
You know what the coolest thing that AK said about you, though?
Oh, shit.
He said, Ron's a great coach, but you know what, man? I felt safe with him. He's a protector. A lot of guidance all those days. He goes, he says a lot of fond memories of being at Weddington, right? And I was like, damn. Because, you know, like, AK is pretty crazy, you know, like, I mean, and he doesn't talk very much, but he said, that meant a lot. I felt safe around Ron as a kid. And, you know, I get to run around the course and eat my cheeseburgers and whatever. So that's kind of crazy because he's legendary, you know? So it's just random how me and him connected totally separate out of you.
At 13, I wouldn't gamble with him at Whitsett.
14 you started?
Was that?
When he was 14 you started?
At 13 years old, I wouldn't play him at Whitsett.
Oh, you wouldn't play him already?
I'd taking my lunch money myself. Like I'd shoot 1 under, he's like 5 under. I'm like, it's my home course.
At 13?
Yeah.
At
are you kidding?
Weddington.
Shit, please.
He shot a 22?
I'll tell you, I think he probably shot 60. I don't know what his low round is at 13 or 14. It's probably 68, 69.
No, I'm talking about at Weddington.
Yeah, 22.
Jesus.
At
He's
13
so new, he
years
doesn't know,
old.
like, how, literally, I love him. He's new. Some of the vernacular he uses is funny as hell, right? Like he used to say, I had like a 14-yard putt. It's feet, but but I love the guy. But the level that AK was at 13 years old, just scary.
Well, my cousin Pete, remember what he said, right?
What did he say? I forgot.
He was saying when he was playing the juniors and Kevin Na and AK were there,
Right.
He said he knew right there at 14. He's like, these guys are going pro. He goes, they're going on tour.
You could just tell. I mean, you could tell. I mean, you could see a practice swing and know he's a scratch golfer, right? You're getting there. It's a look, a movement of your body because you have to be able to control your own body. But you can also see it in the eyes.
Yeah.
Like you'll never hear me talk score. I let my club do the talking. At the end of the day, I'm either going to pay you some racks or you're going to pay me.
But see, okay, look, I'm not saying that like I've learned to be more humble because of golf.
Well, bullshit. You haven't yet, motherfucker. No, I'm kidding.
But you always get mad when I tell people, oh, he got the course record at Angeles.
I hate because that. Who cares? Who gives a shit?
What do you mean? That's a big mile. That's an accomplishment. It's a flex.
The next round I play is a compliment. That's what I want to kick your ass. Kick your ass.
Exactly. The next round he plays is all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Hold on. G, I got a question.
And most manufacturers are probably going to get mad at me, but as a teaching pro, how important is equipment really? Because you got these club hoarders who just buy everything and just think this driver's going to fix this and this wedge is going to do this and this putter is going to do that. Like,
well, okay, the modern equipment's great. Like I'm hitting it further and straighter now than when I was playing professionally. I mean, I was playing persimmons. That's
right.
woods. Like in balata balls.
Hit it on the screws.
Yeah, because it has 4 screws, right? Killing at 260, that's like 310 nowadays. The equipment's phenomenal. From 5 years ago, it's still phenomenal. So get the new Jordache jeans. Yeah, they come out with a new longer driver. Bullshit. Smash factor, ball speed, club speed, that's it. My clubs are 14 years old. And I'm not going to say I'll tax your ass. Try and tax your ass, but I'll tax your ass. It's about the club. The shafts now are pretty insane, the technology of it, as far as the loading and unloading. But at the end of the day, you got to put your swing on it. So I know guys that can kick my ass with Jack Nicklaus blades and a persimmon wood right now.
well, are they fit for those or are they just standard?
If you're going to be a player, you absolutely have to get fit. You absolutely should. Can't go on and get like stock clubs.
How does one do that doesn't even know what that means?
Okay,
how do you go about it?
Well, you have to go to a like legitimate fitting facility. You can't go into some golf shops have like nets that you get into. Oh, I think you use this lie. You got to go, and it's going to cost.
You'll be back there in a week.
Yeah, but before you get fit, you have to have a consistent swing. Like people, I want to get fit. I'm brand new. The swing's going to change, so don't bother. But once you feel you're consistent ball striking, go get fit because length of arms, the lie of the club, all that stuff.
And all that really stuff important. Really matters.
Well, yeah, it's your tools.
Yeah.
Like when I was playing professionally, a pitching wedge was 52 degrees. Now it's like 2 degrees. They're hitting it 500 yards. I mean, that's the distance thing too. But if you know your stock distances for every club, and that fit you, then you're on it. Most amateurs have 13 striking clubs. I've got 50. And by that, I mean, I can hit my wedge from 0 to 150, my 9 from 0 to 175. When you hear these numbers on TV, he hit a 700, 200 yards. He can do it now. You can do it now. It's just ball placement, sharper angle. So basically turning a 7 into a 5 iron by having the ball further back and moving forward. It's not speed and muscles. Look, I don't got any of those fucking things. It's just angles and form. So, but if your clubs fit you, you can no longer blame your clubs, number one, for your shitty play. But it's really important. There's no way you can have stock clubs yourself. How tall are you?
6'6".
6'6". So you what? 2 inches over, inch and a half over?
Inch over.
You were fit, right?
Yep.
What lie are you?
1 degree up.
Because he's a player.
I'm 2 degree the other way.
Could you hang like this? No, I'm kidding.
Exactly, but that's why. Long arms and close to my body, so they have to bend it 2 degrees.
Right.
What's the opposite of up? Down? 2 degrees down?
Yeah, down and up, right.
Yeah.
But it has to fit you.
So what do you think about just my 2-3 week ago recent change back to my P790s?
He was doing the stealth. I didn't think he should be on the P790s in the beginning, blades. Got the stealths, doing pretty good. He wanted to go back to these clubs, and he hit some good shots. And the only thing I said to him, do you like him? He says, I love him. That's all I have to say. It's not what I say. It's what you're the most comfortable with. And if you hit him good, I couldn't hit a fucking blade to save my life. I mean, I started on big pings and stuff like that. It looks like a butter knife to me. And I will shank it. I will. It's just all mental. But it doesn't matter what I say. If they fit you, and yes, you've been fit by one of the greatest, companies on the planet, and you'll have to get refit as your swing gets better.
Yeah.
If you love them, just play them all day. All day. It doesn't matter what anybody says. Play this ball. It's what you love.
Right. So to follow up with what he said, we've talked about this on the show before, but I actually wanted your opinion because I never asked you before. Right. Didn't you say range balls kind of go like 30 yards less?
Oh, yeah. Limited flight balls. Like at Lakeside, we played Lakeside. The range at Whitsett, carry that fence is 285. A real ball, if you hit it 285, a real ball compared to the range ball, you're going to lose 10% distance on limited flight ball. And mostly, unless you go to high-end clubs like Madison Club that have Nike and Titleist balls, you're going to lose 10% minimum. They're going to go nowhere.
Okay, so with that said, how much difference does the ball make? 'Cause I know you play a Pro V1. I'm just curious, like if you played a
Top flight.
top flight, do you think if you played around at Angeles on top flight, do you think it actually affect your game?
I don't play any golf ball except for what it does in the short game for me. And by the way, a golf ball cannot go further than another ball. They have rules in how they make these balls, right? Oh, get longer distance from there. Yeah, right. They have rules. It can only be built a certain way. All I care about is the short game. That's all I care about.
How the ball
Not one
reacts
ball
on the
goes further.
green.
What's that?
How the ball reacts on the
Right,
green
right.
and
That's
chipping.
kind of the scoring, which nobody practices putting. You don't have to. You're weird. He's weird. He can putt his ass off. Like if I could putt the way he does naturally, I wouldn't be teaching. I'd still be playing. But anyways, chipping, the most important thing, putting. Nobody practices enough. You don't, I know. No, you do recently, but nobody does it, right? Because that's not fun.
That's something I want to do though.
Yeah, but you're weird. I mean, like I said, pitching wedge for a month, he did it. Like he's doing it the right way, and he's committed to it. And that's the reason why it's getting good. But your audience, really, who's practicing really 70% of the short game? Probably not a lot. But they want to get good. Never going to happen.
But wait a second, hold on. So you play the ball you like to play.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to say the name again.
Mm-hmm.
You're saying you play it because you like the way your short game is with it?
100% yes.
It's the only thing he cares about.
That's all I care about. Because I know how
Okay,
it's
but
going
it's
to
the
spin.
same ball you're using off the tee.
Yeah, but he doesn't
But I
care
don't give a
about
shit
that.
about that.
How many times you hit the driver opposed to your wedges?
14, period. But I don't care about distance. I don't care about anything else but that short game.
I get it. So, damn, okay.
If there was a ball,
And it's like, look, if you're driving the ball and in one ball might goes 4 yards further than the other, it doesn't change your next shot.
No, I get it. I didn't know
still
though
hit
that
the
all the
iron.
balls couldn't. I honestly technically thought that some balls do go further. I didn't know that they can't by like rules you said, like they make them.
right, there's only a certain amount you can get out of the ball. Like a top flight ball, he said, I couldn't spin that for anything around the greens. They're so hard.
He's going to chip it. It's going to hit the green and roll off the
Right,
green.
right. So
Pro V1, he can chip it, hit it, and make it stop
and
for
I
a
know
second.
exactly how the spin I'm going to hit. And I know exactly how it's going to react. A different ball, like a top slide or a harder ball, if you will, I have no clue. And all I care about is controlling my ball, distance control, and that's it.
So realistically, your 100 yards in is where it really matters to you for that ball is.
150 and in for me. But definitely my most important part that I practice is from,
30, 40
30,
yards,
40
50 yards.
Yeah. Bunker shots, stuff like that.
I don't practice drivers, 3-woods, or putting, but I do practice wedges from 2 yards to
That's scoring.
60 yards, 70 yards. I practice that at the most, I would think.
And you?
120 and in.
And what percentage of that practice do you do out of 100%?
Out of 100, probably 65.
Playa. I mean, that's the only way anybody can get good.
But
Anyway.
I'm not good from, so I'm only good from 140 in.
But listen, you're so new and you're so advanced being new. You know what I mean? It's like some of these questions I love because he doesn't understand. He's so new to the game. It's not a bad thing, by the way. The education you're getting, especially from TaylorMade. I mean, fuck, I can't even get in the kingdom. They wouldn't let me mow the damn lawn. But it's a great, he's absorbing it. Might be a lot, but it's good to start like that. Jump in the deep end, and for the fact he was willing to hit a pitch wedge for a month, that's why I took him on. Otherwise, I would have blown him off. Because I don't celebrate mediocrity. I don't fail, and I won't let him make me fail. So yeah, I don't give a shit about that stuff.
See, I don't know if I could have did that. Pitch wedge for a month. I played too much.
But no, but this is like in the beginning.
He had never played.
Oh, true.
I've never saw a club for
No,
my entire
if
life.
if you started working with him, he wouldn't make you hit a pitching wedge for a month.
You're established. You're
But
established.
a new
already.
golfer,
Right.
Yeah.
figure that out, get that down, and then we'll go to the
Well, you
9,
and I
8,
started
7.
with a wedge for not a month, maybe a couple of days and 3 days, just to understand what he's asking of his body.
And he was an instructor at our shop on Fairfax when you used to live around the corner.
Yeah.
So during even COVID and shit, he had the keys to
I was
it. So
bitching.
it was like,
And by myself, working on my shit.
and then they
Oh,
had
it
a
was
putting
awesome.
out back. He would chip and putt nonstop there.
And these the simulators, the full, all these simulators out there. He had the full swing of one.
Yeah.
I would cover the distance of each shot because how far to go, shit like that. Get out of that mode, and they had to be more observant of their body to learn the feeling, if you will, right? Because this distance thing I get. I mean, I went down the rabbit hole myself, but
Something else I never asked you before. What are the favorite courses you ever played at?
Lakeside, 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 Lakeside. I played every course in the state.
No, in the country though.
Lakeside, Lakeside, Lake. I mean, I played everywhere. And I tell you what, for me, it's about the people. You know what I mean? The people that I play with, and I played at same thing, Riviera, LACC, and Lakeside. Great group of golfers, serious golfers, not serious golfers. It doesn't matter. They play the game. Fun. They make a hell of a fucking martini. I mean, like it's a vat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I got a lit last night.
Especially at the turn right there. You know what I mean? Hole 15 right there. I love that.
I was Stevie Wonder after 9. I had this fucking, like Joe Pesci has a martini. It's
I know.
Oh my God. Lit. Lakeside. Yeah. It's so much fun.
What's your favorite club in the bag? I never asked you that either.
All of them. I mean, all of them. What's my worst clubs in the bag? All of them. Yes, I'm capable of shooting 85 today. He doesn't believe me when I say that. I can go out and shoot 85 tomorrow. He said, there's no way. It's golf.
Easily.
It's golf. It's golf. I have no expectation. But he doesn't believe it. Like we play and you know, whatever.
We were playing.
It's like, dude, you shot 67. You could never shoot 85. It's like, yes, I could today.
100%.
Steven, the first time we played like a round together, I asked to do shit just because I've never seen it before. So we had like what 300, no, but 265, and I was like, hit the driver off the fairway, you know, off the deck. And he's like, I don't do this, but I'll do it. And they're just doing all this weirdo shit. And how far are we? Was it 220? Was it 2?
It was like 245.
So we go look for the ball. We drive it to the fucking hole. Couldn't find it. Motherfuckers in the goddamn hole, bro. You hold out from fucking.
So there's some luck in golf, as you know. The net, I think on the backside, do it again. I topped it, went 40 yards.
Yeah.
It's golf.
Yeah.
It's golf. I mean, I'm going to shake it again. I'm going to top it again. You're going to do the same thing. And when you get that mindset and you take that pressure off yourselves, it's so free.
Yeah.
Accept what the hell you're going to do before you do it. Whatever. I'm going to shoot 100. I'm going to shoot 100. Who cares? Do the best you can.
But you still shot a 67, you know?
The next day I can shoot 90.
And you had a pack of cigarettes. You smoked an entire pack of cigarettes.
It wasn't an entire pack. I only had 2 beers. He said, I got 6 beers.
No. He had like 5, 6 beers. And then we went on the turn. He's like, what kind of beer do you guys have? Do you guys have Corona? I don't like that size. You got this? Okay, fine. He was drinking beer all fucking around. What are you talking about? What's, I don't know, one of your most favorite memories in golf, period?
Famous. My first professional win. So
where was it?
So Smokey sponsoring me, playing all over the state. I played in the state open, missed the cut by a fucking million. Go up north to play in a tournament. Wake up the first day of the tournament, wake up sick as hell. I got the flu. I'm so sick. Go to the venue, try and get my entry fee back. The guy's like, you're not getting back. So my cat's like, we're here, let's play. And I'm like, dude, I am sick as hell. Can't play. Like I couldn't even lift the club. So he convinced me to play, and I shot 10 under for 2 days and won the tournament. Sick as hell, which is the light bulb time because he said, do you know you were turning your head like that? I'm like, shut up. There's no way. That's when my whole method was born. Because I was so sick, I couldn't use my muscles. I don't have any, but you know what I mean? From that moment, that's when I kind of knew I wouldn't play professionally because I knew. But the method of instruction, that's when it just lit. So that is my only memory, and that's the only memory I care about. Because all I care about is helping folks. When they leave my stall and they're happy, I win. I don't give a shit what level you're at, and it's kind of easy to fix swings. You know, I don't rebuild swings. It's already there. I mean, I didn't change your swing. We're building yours. I wouldn't change your swing.
You know the humming thing he was saying? So basically like when he would be at the shop doing lessons nonstop and I would be in there, you know, so he would have you hit like 3-4 balls before he would talk to you, you know, and then he'd tell me, he'd be like, all right, he's gonna tighten up. He could tell you prior where you're gonna tighten up. So like, you know, like this kid who used to work for me, one of them used to tighten up at the top. So he'd go,
and that's involuntary
at the top. And then me, my problem is I tighten up 1 foot before the ball. So, like right before I hit the ball, everything's perfect. I just decide I'm going to tighten every fucking thing up.
Not that you're trying to do, but that is involuntary.
He can watch your swing and then say it. And then he'll be like, listen, watch. And then when you do it, he'll call it like JR's going to tighten up right here. And then you'll go, and you can't fake the vocal cords out. So as soon as the
diaphragm stops you from humming. And plus, if I tell Steven to do this, he shouldn't tell anybody else to do it because it's not their problem. So everyone's got their own issues, right? And movement problems, or not problems, movements. There's no way to teach a golf swing that's universal. In 2008, I put like 12 or 13 2-minute videos on YouTube. And after a couple of years, I got like 5.7 million views. I know I fucked up 5.7 million golfers. So I wouldn't talk to them. They're like do this and do. There's no way anybody got better with that shit. So I stopped putting all instruction on the internet because I'm not talking to the individual.
Right.
It's I don't know how you swing or what your tendencies are, but people are going to learn a golf swing on, right. Not a chance. No chance. And you're guilty of it. Hey, I've seen, somebody said, I'm like, fuck, all right, cool. Don't
I'm just
lie.
asking you though, bro.
By asking you already practiced for a day trying on this and that. I don't want to hear that shit. Everyone does. Don't worry. Everyone does it. I can't get one client to stop doing it.
Everybody
It's
does it.
fine. I keep making money though.
The worst is when you're in the middle of a round and you're not playing bad or you're not playing good, but like somebody's like, oh yeah, you're doing this. And you like subconsciously start thinking about it, not even like, that's the worst. Bro.
Maybe they did it on purpose though.
No, 100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when I practice, it takes me like 2 hours to hit a medium bucket because I'm making practice swings. I'm actually thinking, if I shank it, I could care less. I'm trying to learn feeling, if you will.
Yeah.
I know what my problems are, and I can't feel it. Like I'll see top of the takeaway and my arm move a little bit. That's the balance mechanism because I'm trying to get something out of it. I can't feel it, so I got to work on it. Everyone's got their own issues. His issue used to be like he would tug it down. So how do I trick his brain to stop him tugging down? I would do something with the balance thing, like the toes, so he couldn't involuntarily tug it down. It's just tricks. But
Yeah, he does all this Mr. Miyagi shit, dude. Like, I didn't understand where it was, but it ends up getting there.
As long
I've
as it
seen
works,
that's all that matters.
There's another thing I never asked you, man. Who would you say your favorite golfer is that you just always,
Tiger Woods, end of story. End of story of all time. I don't
not
give a
Ben
shit. I
Hogan,
don't give
not
a-
Jack Nick?
And listen, let me talk about Ben Hogan for a second. The 5 easy steps. Okay, for the Ben Hogan fans, I'm sorry, but why the fuck would you read Ben Hogan's book? Because that's what he did. Period. Did this and this. I got videos of Ben Hogan describing what he did. And in the video, it's bullshit. He's not doing what he's saying. Now, I'm not saying anything about his method, but why would you or I want to say Ben Hogan did this with his right arm? Unless you're banging Miss Ben Hogan, don't try and be it. Well, that's what he does, right? Why would you do anything that somebody else does? In this basketball, you don't try and duplicate what anyone else does, right?
No.
But golf is fucking weird. Why would anybody do that? I can't do anything you can do. We can break dance. We'll look different. You're Asian. I'm not. That's apparent. So that's a win. But you can't absolutely do anything anyone else can do in golf. If you have a pro, and people don't listen to their pro, which is ridiculous. If you got a good qualified pro, and there's thousands out there, just do what they want you to do and do the work.
I've done everything.
I'm not talking about you, but it's not rocket science. But people just kibosh it. They just don't know how to take themselves serious. So the 5 lesson with Ben, throw it away. But Tiger Woods, by all means, in my opinion, the greatest ever. Greatest that will probably ever be.
We got to do a foursome, man. We got to play.
Oh, my what do you call it? The best foursome I want to play with?
Yeah, who is?
Oh, yeah. Who is your dream foursome?
3 people I don't know, so shut the fuck up. That is that. Let me play my game. Don't be talking to my ass. That's it. That's my dream foursome.
I like that.
You're the fucking best.
I'm going to play my game.
Guys, RDB legend, man. You can follow him on Instagram at RDB Golf Tips. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate everything you've
Cheers,
done for
guys.
me.
Thank you for having me.
How
Appreciate
about
it.
outside of golf? What you've done for me in life? I appreciate it, man.
Love you, buddy.
All right, so that's it for this episode of Par 3, RDB, Stephen Malbon, J.R. Smith legend, your boy Ben Baller. We're out, y'all.